Welcome to episode 3 of Have a Good Trip. Set, setting, intention, and dosage. Yo, welcome back, fellow journeyers. In this episode, we're delving into the crucial factors of set, setting, intention, and dosage when embarking on a psilocybin journey. These 4 pillars are the cornerstones of ensuring a meaningful, safe, and transformative experience. Your set. Cultivating the right mindset and heart set. Your mental and heart state, or your set, is just as vital as your physical surroundings. We'll discuss how your mind and heart set, emotions, and expectations can influence the trajectory of your journey. We'll also delve into ways to prepare mentally, from managing anxiety to setting positive intentions. The setting. Before you embark on your psychedelic journey, it's essential to set up your environment properly. The physical and emotional environment in which you take psilocybin plays a pivotal role in shaping your experience. We'll explore how to create a safe and supportive setting, including elements like lighting, music, and the physical space where you'll be. This also includes whether you may wish to elect for a one-to-one or a group setting to journey in. And of course, I'll discuss the differences with you. Your intention matters. Setting an intention for your journey can be a compass, guiding your experiences towards personal growth and discovery. We'll explore the importance of crafting a clear and meaningful intention, how to do it, and how it can shape your entire experience. And dosage. How much should you take? Setting a dosage that feels right for you is super important. So let's dive in. Understanding the power of mindset and heart set. Your mindset is your mental state, and your heart set is your emotional state. They are both fundamental factors in determining the course and quality of your psychedelic experience. It's one of the lenses through which you perceive and interpret your journey. Here's a more in-depth look at the elements of your set. Emotional state. Your emotional state significantly impacts the tone of your journey. If you're feeling anxious, stressed, or overwhelmed before the trip, these emotions can carry over into the experience. On the other hand, a calm and relaxed emotional state can contribute to a more positive and harmonious journey. Expectations. Your expectations, whether they are conscious or subconscious, can shape your experience. If you anticipate a transformative and insightful journey, you're more likely to have one. Conversely, if you're filled with apprehension or dread, it could lead to a challenging experience, but not necessarily. I always advise you to do your best to let go of your expectations and trust that everything will unfold as it is meant to, as it always is in your trip and in life. My experience also tells me that sometimes people who expect the worst can have the best experiences, and vice versa, because often our attachment to an expectation is resistance to another experience, and the medicine will often show us where we are resisting life. I once had a friend sit with 5-MeO-DMT, which is the toad medicine, also known as Bufo, and as he smoked it, he thought to himself, "Oh no, I've finally done it, I'm going to die." And then proceeded to have the most profound, blissful experience of his life. So there's no exact science here. But this is also where taking psychedelics recreationally can be, is important to be careful, because if you're attached to an expectation of having fun, you might not get it. Do your best to be open to any and all experiences. That's the magic for your trip and for life. Attitude. Your attitude towards the journey is crucial. An open, curious, and accepting attitude can foster exploration and self-discovery. In contrast, a resistant or judgmental attitude might hinder the experience. Are you in resistance to the experience, or are you open and willing to allow yourself to be guided by the medicine, wherever it wishes to take you? Do you have a beginner's mindset, open, available, and ready to learn? Are you choosing to trust the medicine before you sit with it? Or rather, are you choosing to trust that everything happens as it is meant to, and therefore anything you experience is meant to occur? This mindset can really help. Preparing your mind and heart set. To set the stage for a meaningful journey, it's essential to prepare yourself. Here are some strategies. Pre-journey self-care. Engage in self-care practices in the days leading up to your journey. This can include things like meditation, yoga, or simply spending time in nature. Nurturing your mental and emotional well-being before the trip can promote a positive mindset and just really help you be clear. In the days leading up to the journey, avoid eating unhealthy, fatty, fried foods, drinking alcohol, taking any other substances, and avoid intake of caffeine and nicotine. Really just avoid doing the things that you probably shouldn't be doing anyway. Essentially, you want to be as clear as possible. The morning of the journey, you should fast for at least 4 to 6 hours prior by drinking only water and no food so that your stomach is empty and your vessel is clear. Water is definitely okay to drink, and you should be well hydrated going into your journey. Acknowledging your emotions. Spend some time journaling about how you're feeling. Some journaling questions to consider might be, how am I feeling? What am I feeling in my body? What am I aware of that may come up in this journey? What am I afraid of? What do I need? And what can I let go of beforehand? You can also download a free trip journal with questions and prompts available at alexanderwaters.com/have-a-good-trip. If you're feeling anxious or noticing fears, it's important to acknowledge those feelings before the journey. Talk to a facilitator, a trusted friend, or practice relaxation techniques such as taking deep breaths to ease anxiety and just help you through the experience. Unresolved anxiety and fear can manifest during the trip, potentially leading to a challenging experience. However, that is also one of the most beautiful things about mushrooms in my experience. The medicine will help you to address and work through your anxieties and fears, and it's one of the reasons why many people choose to work with mushrooms, me included. Setting your intentions. One of the most effective ways to shape your mindset is by setting your intentions for the journey. Intentions provide you with a sense of purpose and direction, guiding your thoughts and emotions during the experience. We'll explore intention setting more deeply in the next segment. Guided meditation. Consider practicing guided meditation, breathwork, or mindfulness in the days leading up to the journey. This can help you become more attuned to your thoughts and emotions and allow you to navigate them more effectively during the trip. This can be as simple as putting away your devices and sitting still for 5 to 10 minutes, or getting into nature and going for a walk without any digital distractions or music playing. Consciously let go of your expectations. This is a big one for everyone. Understand that you're working with a master teacher. This is a plant with a spirit and wisdom far greater than we can comprehend. In working with mushrooms, your experience will be smoother if you surrender control to the mushrooms. If you consciously work to let go of your expectations and how it's meant to go, and your judgments of what is good and what is bad, all is as it is meant to be, and more on that later. One of the things that you could do to help you let go of your expectations is you could write them all down and say out loud, I am letting go of my expectations and I surrender to this experience. You could then choose to burn the piece of paper or symbolically tear it up. In conclusion, it can be important to be aware of your mindset and heart set, and acknowledging and accepting where you're at prior to your journey can support it in feeling like a smoother experience. Setting up your environment. Your setting encompasses the physical and environmental aspects of your psilocybin experience. It plays a pivotal role in shaping the tone and safety of your journey. Let's explore the key elements of setting. The first one is physical environment. The physical space in which you take psilocybin is a critical aspect of your setting. Make sure you choose a location where you feel safe, comfortable, and free from distractions. It should be a space where you can relax and let go. Declutter and clean up, and think about what you might need before the journey. A water bottle, blanket, sweater, essential oils. Creating a cozy and aesthetically pleasing environment can contribute to a positive experience. If possible, choose a setting where you can enjoy total privacy. Feeling exposed or self-conscious due to the presence of others who are not there to support or be a part of your trip can affect your experience. For many individuals, nature offers an ideal setting. If you have access to natural surroundings like a garden or a forest, consider incorporating nature into your journey. A private Airbnb in nature is, in my opinion, the perfect place to journey. The second thing to consider is lighting. The lighting in your setting can greatly influence your journey. Natural light during the day or soft, warm lighting in the evening can be comforting. Harsh, bright lights may feel intrusive or unsettling. And some people prefer a combination of natural light and soothing, low-level lighting to create a balanced ambiance. Consider the time of day to start your journeys. I feel that the optimal time to start is around midday, as the journey is usually coming to an end between 6 to 9 p.m. around sunset. It can feel very soothing at that time, as well as the fact that you can go straight to sleep and it's also not super late. But that's a preference and definitely hasn't been the rule for my own experiences either. The third thing to consider is music and sound. Sound can be a really powerful tool for enhancing your journey. Many people find that carefully selected music can evoke emotions and enhance the overall experience. So choose music that resonates with you, whether it's calming, ambient, or specifically designed for psychedelic journeys. Some people prefer silence to tune into their internal experience. But if you do want to work with music with your journey, I have a range of playlists available for you on Spotify, created specifically for different mushroom ceremonies and different types of experiences. So you can find them all online at alexanderwaters.com/have a good trip. And this is the same link for all of the things that I'm giving you. So you can see that link in the show notes of the podcast wherever you're listening or watching this. The fourth thing to consider is smell. Smells have a really powerful effect on our nervous system and on our journey. Consider burning some incense or Palo Santo or sage beforehand or during, and utilizing any essential oils that might feel supportive to you or a familiar smell that you really like. You can also find a link to my favorite oils, incense sticks, and Palo Santo and sage in the show notes wherever you're listening, or of course go to the website alexanderwaters.com/have a good trip. Safety measures. Safety is paramount. Ensure that your setting is free from any potential physical hazards. Remove sharp objects or anything that could pose a risk. And ensure that you're somewhere that won't require you to drive a vehicle later, even after the journey. Have a responsible and sober trip sitter if possible, who can assist in case of any challenges. If you're not going to have someone else present, ensure that you are comfortable with the dose that you're taking, and let someone know that you're going to be in a journey. Ask for them to be on standby if you need to call them. And that way, if you do need to call them, they're there. So whether you need them or not, this can feel very supportive and reassuring if things start to feel challenging or overwhelming in your journey. It's like a physical anchor of safety that you know you can call on if you need. So it'll just probably help in those challenging moments. By the way, the whole I think I can fly and jumping off a balcony is very much a propaganda-based story of what psychedelic journeys are like from my experience. It's highly unlikely that you will feel anything like this at all. And usually the rare stories that you hear in the media of someone doing something kind of crazy either involves a mixture of substances, alcohol, or it involves a person who has an absolute contraindication to working with psychedelics, including severe mental illness such as delusional schizophrenia. The next thing to consider is energetic boundaries. Ensure you carve out time where you have no responsibility to anyone but yourself. Let anyone who would usually expect you to be contactable know you're going to be offline for a day, whether that's work, family, friends, kids, whoever. Download any music playlist onto your phone so that you can put your phone on airplane mode. Notify your housemates or whoever you live with and ask for what you need from them to create this space for yourself. Maybe that's asking for the house for a day or for an evening and planning in advance. If you have children, like I do, ensure that they are cared for and within the care of someone that you totally trust. And also let that person know that you'll be offline and also uncontactable, even in the case of an emergency, which is, of course, also unlikely. This is your time and your space for yourself and your own inner exploration. This will also help you let go of your responsibilities and roles that you play in your life, which is all a part of the identity that you've constructed in your default mode network that prevents you from experiencing complete freedom in your space and way of being. The role of a guide. So in some cases, individuals choose to embark on their journey with the assistance of a trusted guide, facilitator, or some can be known as a trip sitter. A guide can help the experience by offering emotional support, guidance, and reassurance, particularly if challenging emotions or thoughts arise during the trip. It can also be nice to have someone physically hold you if you need, like a hug, and just to be there for you. And a guide can act as a physical anchor of safety, which will allow you to go much deeper in your journey. I recommend that you have a discussion with your guide before the journey and ask them what they're okay with you asking for and if anything is off limits, so that you know before the journey. So if something comes up, you feel comfortable asking for it when you need it. A properly trained guide should prompt all of this for you anyway. So if you're just with a friend, you may want to lead the conversation. Some of the things that you may want to ask for include grounding touch, massage, hugs, reassurance, supportive words of love, help getting to the toilet, depending on the dosage, tissues, more water or tea, and generally holding a loving and supportive presence. And you should feel like their only interest is in being present for you and to support you without their own agenda. So decide whether you want your guide in the same room as you or in a different room and on standby, and clarify that you may need to ask them to leave or come as you feel. If you are sitting in a group ceremony with a facilitator, they will take the responsibility of curating the setting and supporting you with your mindset, heart set, and intention. I offer one-to-one psilocybin journeys online and in person, as well as private in-person group ceremonies and retreats. And if that's something that you desire, you can look at all my offerings via my website, alexanderwaters.com. If you're someone who is wanting to learn how to support others in their journeys and be trained and certified to facilitate one-to-one and group ceremonies, I'm releasing a psilocybin mushroom facilitator training in 2024. And right now you can sign up via the waitlist on my website, training.alexanderwaters.com/facilitator training waitlist. So what are the differences between a one-to-one setting or a group ceremony? Well, the difference between the two, besides the obvious, is that one-to-one with a facilitator means all the attention and focus is on you. Now, this isn't right or wrong or bad or good, but this can either feel supportive or sometimes can feel a little strange. A lot of people initially believe that a one-to-one journey may be better for them, as being in a group sounds confronting in and of itself, especially if you're someone who feels social anxiety. When you're tripping, you have a heightened sense of awareness. And if you're journeying one-to-one, consider that as you're experiencing your trip, you will have another person solely there to serve you. If you're someone who is a people pleaser or feel the need to ensure other people around you are doing okay, this could take out of your trip, wondering if this person is okay, are you taking up too much of their time, etc., etc. And if they're just there watching you, like there for you, that can feel uncomfortable too. And if you're not good at asking for what you need, practice doing that. But I'm just sharing what it can feel like for you. However, one-to-one can be very powerful if you actually want the attentiveness and support of your guide, or if there is a feeling that there are certain things you need to work through mostly alone. It can also be very supportive for individuals with complex PTSD or other diagnosed traumas, so that you can get the exact attention and support you need throughout your entire journey. In a group setting, the focus is spread out over the group. You can feel held in the group and ceremony without necessarily feeling that someone is watching you the entire journey. And it's also nice to enjoy the group energy. There's always divine timing with the people that come together in ceremony together. And honestly, it's usual for someone else's presence from the group to have a meaningful impact on your journey. It's the culmination of energies that form the ceremony and can create a really, really powerful, safe space to experience psychedelic medicine. In groups, I usually work on a ratio of about one facilitator to every 4 or 5 participants to ensure that everyone can receive the support they need when they need it. So both have their benefits. Once again, trust your intuition as to what is right for you. And remember, you can have more than one journey over your lifetime. I think sometimes people get caught up in needing for this to be perfect and the right thing the first time. But, just remember, if you do a one-to-one or solo journey now, you can do a group another time if that feels right, or vice versa. This doesn't need to be a one-time thing. It's an incredible medicine that you can use and engage with for the rest of your life if you choose to. Now, let's explore the concept of intention in greater depth in the context of a psilocybin journey. The power of setting an intention. An intention is a clear and concise statement of purpose, a guiding principle that directs your mindset and focus during your psilocybin journey. Whether you realize it or not, you are operating with intention at all times in all moments of your life. Your focus is somewhere, right? So the practice of setting an intention brings your conscious awareness to where your focus is and then allows you to direct it. Not only is this a powerful tool for journeying with psilocybin, but it's a powerful tool for your life, is becoming consciously aware of your focus and then directing it, setting your intention. Here's a closer look at the elements of intention. The first is clarity and specificity. Your intention should be specific and precise. Instead of a vague goal like, I want to have a good trip, consider a more specific intention like, I seek to understand and heal my past traumas. Or even better is to be specific about the exact trauma that you desire to heal from, if that's something that you're aware of. I often go into journeys with an intention as specific as, I wish to understand everything that is holding me back from experiencing a healthy relationship with women and let go of any resentment that I have towards my mom. The second thing is emotional resonance. It's important that your intention actually means something to you. Otherwise, it's pointless. Why is this important to you? The third thing to consider is openness. Your intention should leave room for spontaneity and discovery. You can do this by setting your intention and then releasing any attachments to it unfolding in the way that you want. Understand that there is an intelligence greater than you that is guiding the experience. So you'll always get what you need, not necessarily what you want. So how do you create your intention? Well, setting a meaningful intention is a process that requires introspection and self-reflection. Here are some questions to support you in crafting a powerful intention. What aspects of your life or self would you like to explore or heal? Recognize your desires for personal growth and self-discovery. Why are you here? At this moment, why are you here contemplating journeying with mushrooms? Why are you choosing to do this for yourself? What do you wish to understand about yourself and the world? What blocks do you have in your life that you wish to explore and understand? What do you wish to break through? What do you wish to let go of? What are you aware of in your life that is no longer serving you? What new possibilities do you dream of unlocking? Answering these will support you in further understanding your intention. And they are included in the journal that we've given away for free on our website. Once again, the link is in the notes. Once you've done that, it's important to articulate your intention clearly. And I like to speak it out loud to myself. An example of this is, my intention is to heal my relationship with women and understand what has been in my way from attracting the type of partner I desire. I also wish to be shown anything else that will be supportive to my journey at this time. In summary, setting a clear and meaningful intention is a transformative practice that can really deepen your psilocybin journey. Your intention serves as a beacon, guiding your inner exploration and aligning your mindset and setting to facilitate profound self-discovery and healing. It's also you learning to listen to your soul's voice and inner guidance. Let's talk about dosage. The question that everyone loves to ask and spend so much time on. When I'm running ceremonies, this is a thing that everyone's always asking about. How much do you think I should take? And it's funny, because it's such a common question. Dosage is an important factor in your journey as the level of dosage can have an impact on the strength of your experience. A psilocybin journey can usually last anywhere from 3 to 8 to 12 plus hours, depending on the dosage and the individual. Each person has a different level of sensitivity to the medicine, and the other factors that can impact the duration of the journey are things such as what form the mushrooms are being consumed in, whether it's tea, dried mushrooms, chocolate, or lemon tech, or even mixed into food. You might have heard of people cooking omelets with it and other things like that. So if mushrooms are eaten dried, the body has to break down the psilocybin and convert it to psilocin itself. In chocolate, and depending on the sugar content of the chocolate and how it was prepared, can speed up the digestion of the psilocybin. I often find chocolate is one of the quicker methods of psilocybin coming up. Lemon tech is a popular method that is to soak the mushrooms in lemon juice, which basically helps the psilocybin pre-convert to psilocin so that the medicine will work quicker. And usually when you lemon tech, the journey is going to be a quicker onset, stronger and shorter. So it'll be a shorter journey with a bigger peak. Or in tea. Tea has a similar effect as lemon teching. And usually with psilocybin mushrooms, if you put them in hot water with some lemon juice and ginger or whatever you want to put in there, you'll notice the water will actually go blue. This is the psilocybin content. Different strains of mushrooms have different concentrations of psilocybin in them. And so this can also impact the intensity of the journey. And so this is why it's so important to get knowledge and understand, because so many variables to learn with all of this. And it's best to direct your specific questions around this to the Have a Good Trip community Telegram channel. Once again, you can find that at alexanderwaters.com/have a good trip. As I just said, all of this can be variable. The medicine has its way of working is exactly as is needed for each journey and person. So if things don't go as you plan them to go, or things are different to what you expected, learn to practice letting go of your expectations and trusting what's unfolding for you. My consumption preference is in chocolate for my own personal journeys, or if I'm journeying outdoors and for ceremonies and retreats, I usually serve whole dried mushrooms as it allows people to connect with the plant itself and have the most organic experience of the medicine. Psilocybin dosages can significantly vary depending on the type of mushroom, individual sensitivity, and desired effects. So it's important to note that dosages are typically measured in grams of dried mushrooms, as fresh mushrooms contain a higher water content and may require a higher weight for a similar effect. Now, there is no known fatal level of pure psilocybin for humans. And it is more likely that someone would experience toxicity from the type of mushroom they take, maybe taking a mushroom that is not psilocybin or has a very small psilocybin content but actually is toxic for you, as opposed to the actual psilocybin content. The Global Drug Survey of 2021 reported that psilocybin mushrooms had the lowest rate of emergency medical treatment out of any substance taken, with only 0.3% of users seeking emergency medical treatment. So in summary, it's very safe, in my opinion, and I think statistically very, very safe as well. Let's break down the psilocybin doses. Microdosing is 0.1 to 0.5 grams. Microdosing means taking a very small, almost unnoticed amount of psilocybin, usually every few days. The goal isn't to have a full-on psychedelic experience, but rather to experience subtle improvements like a better mood, increased creativity, and improved focus. Over a few months of regular microdosing, you might observe changes in your mood, a clearer emotional state, and a decrease in feelings of anxiety. A threshold dose is 0.5 to 1 gram, and this is the smallest amount of psilocybin that makes a noticeable impact. You'll probably notice slight changes in perception, like more vibrant colors, a slightly better mood, and a relaxed feeling. Most people will start to feel trippy at 1 gram, so I would advise not taking 1 gram if you have to work or show up for anything serious. And typically this dose lasts around 2 to 3 hours. Now at 1 gram, people who are hypersensitive can last a lot longer, and it can be more powerful for those people, particularly usually small and petite women I find suspect to being extra sensitive. A low dose is 1 to 2 grams. This is for beginners or those looking for a mild experience. It brings about effects such as a better mood, heightened senses, subtle visual changes, and probably some introspection. At 2 grams, you'll definitely feel like you're on a trip, and I would expect this dose to last around 2 to 4 hours, maybe a little longer. A moderate dose is 2 to 4.5 grams. This is for those wanting to have a stronger psychedelic experience. It leads to heightened senses, changes in thinking, vivid visual distortions, and potential insights. Taking 3 grams is what I'd consider a standard ceremony dose, and this typically lasts around 4 to 6 hours. A high dose is 4.5 to 8 grams. This is often called a heroic dose and brings intense psychedelic effects. At this level, you will most likely experience losing your sense of self, vivid hallucinations, and very profound spiritual moments. A high dose needs careful consideration and is definitely best with a trusted support or facilitator nearby, and I would expect this dose to last a while, usually 6 to 8 hours or more. A God dose is 8 grams or higher. A godly dose of mushrooms is the most intense level of mushroom dosage and can produce a total dissolution of reality entirely. This dose would usually last up to 7 to 12 hours. The largest dose I've ever eaten was 12 grams of mushrooms, and many times I had gone completely crazy and was scared that I wasn't going to come back. The body can react in many different ways to this level of dosage, including quick changes in your heart rate, perceived body temperature, and a loss of different functions in the body. At one point in the journey with 12 grams, it felt like my body forgot how to automatically breathe. So I was having to consciously take each breath, and I was experiencing my arms and legs going numb at different points. It kind of felt like my body was dissolving, which at times felt very scary. I felt very vulnerable and exposed in this journey. I was initially intending to journey alone, but I had a friend on standby, and about 2 hours in, I asked him to come over, and he arrived at about the 4th hour. So alongside the intensity of the physical sensations I was having, I was also having one of the most profoundly expanding journeys of my entire life. And as I looked back on my journal to prepare for this podcast, I can see that a lot of the intentions I had were really, really big. And I was asking to expand and grow through a lot in that one journey. And almost all of my intentions have come to fruition in my life just maybe 2 years later. I'm sure if I spoke with a doctor that they would potentially label this experience as an overdose based on what I was experiencing in my body. I'm not sure I personally see it this way, but I also know that I won't be rushing to take that dosage again anytime soon. I definitely advise extreme caution in taking dosages this big, especially alone. Why did I do it? Well, I felt the call to take a 12-gram dose by myself. Kind of crazy, and maybe I'm a little bit crazy, but as a facilitator, I feel I have a responsibility to understand the full range of effects and what can happen during a journey. If I'm going to be serving people 6 to 8 grams of mushrooms, which I do offer at my retreats or in private ceremonies only, I wanted to know what would happen at a dose double that size. For this reason, I've journeyed many times with big doses of mushrooms completely solo, and sometimes with someone else present. Sometimes with no other intention other than just to see what happened. It's also important to note that before embarking on these bigger journeys, I was equipped with a lot of tools and resources to help me ground my nervous system and my body during challenging times, as well as all the years of training I've completed in the areas of somatics, trauma, and the hundreds of other medicine journeys I've been on, and some very experienced, understanding, and supportive friends who I could have had on standby for me and call if I needed. Once again, I advise caution in taking larger doses of mushrooms. And also, trust your intuition, trust your inner guidance, and whatever you choose for yourself, use the guidelines I've shared already and the guidelines that are about to come in the next episodes. Even the guide on dosage is just that. It's a guide. I have had extremely profound experiences with 1 gram of mushrooms and with 12. I've had challenging experiences with 12 grams of mushrooms and with 1 gram. The setting, and intention will make a big difference, especially your physical environment, and most of all, your receptivity to the medicine and your ability to let go of your expectations and flow with what is. Just a final reminder that everything I'm sharing with you is knowledge and is information that's here to serve you. It is absolutely not truth. It is not absolute truth. And it's important to let go of needing to control all of the variables that I've spoken about. You definitely do not need to be in a perfect state and have ticked every single box before you journey with psilocybin, but follow the guidelines I've provided you with and make decisions that feel right for you. This will support your nervous system to feel safer, which will allow for a deeper surrender into the experience. As we continue our journey, we'll be exploring what happens during a trip, and I'll be offering you essential strategies to ensure a safe and meaningful experience.